All right. I'm Rebecca Hay, and I've built a successful interior design business by trial and error, podcasts, online courses, and so many freaking books. Over the last decade, I've grown from an insecure student to having false starts to careers, and now I'm finally in the place where I want to be. Throughout my journey, it's been pretty obvious that I'm passionate about business and helping other entrepreneurs do the same. Each week, I'll share tangible takeaways from my own experience and the experiences of other badass women to help you build your confidence and change your business. Welcome to the podcast, Whitney.
Thank you.
Is it Whitney or Whit?
It's Whitney, but everybody calls me Whit.
Okay, because I saw that in your intake form. I was like, oh, maybe I need to call her Whit. I haven't met you yet, but I'll call you by your nickname.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm Whitney Atkinson. I'm an interior designer down in Corpus Christi, Texas. And I am the owner and inventor of WUGS, weighted rugs, and Willow's weighted outdoor pillows. I was tired of my rugs constantly blowing away, my rug edges curling up. And so I created a solution to my problem, and it worked. So we launched WUGS last August.
I love it. I'm so excited to have you. I'm like so excited. We got connected through Robin De La Cruz, who was on the podcast here recently. And he shared about his rebrand and how it completely has transformed his business. So guys, we'll share the link to that episode in the show notes. And you guys are a part of this designer besties group that you've created where you do design work together. I'm just really excited to learn a bit about your transition. So I don't know if it's a transition. Are you still doing interior design projects? You've got these designer besties, or are you primarily working on the product line? Tell me about the balance there.
Right. That's a great question. Balance. So actually at the moment, my design business has kind of gone on the back burner because WUGS has taken over my life. Right now, we do all of the manufacturing out of our home. So I'm constantly sewing. I'm out at shows. I'm traveling all over the country, spreading the brand. So I'm really focused on the WUGS and Willows. But the design besties, yes, I'm getting to still wear my design hat with them, and we're working on some projects as well. So kind of best of both worlds.
I love that term. I've always used that term for my design besties here in Toronto. I'm in Toronto, and I have some design besties that have been my design friends since like year 2 of my business. So like 8 years. And it is so powerful to have designer friends and have a community so that you can chat on the phone. You can ask, hey, I sent out this proposal. What do you think? Or, hey, oh my God, I'm so frustrating. I just need to vent about this client or this contractor. Right? It's so powerful.
Absolutely, it is. We feed off of each other, motivation, inspiration, and as a design bestie, that's what we're trying to promote: a community of inspiration, diversity, and just different outlooks on projects. And that doesn't have to necessarily be interior design. It can be product launching. It can be anything.
So let's talk about that, because I know a lot of designers listening today are like, ooh, product launching. Like, how do I get into that? And I think there's something kind of alluring about having products because, and I'm going to let you tell us the truth, but it feels like there's no clients, right? We don't have to deal with the clients complaining or demanding so much of our time. It's just a product. We can put it on the website and you just kind of get it out to market and then you retire.
Oh, no, no. That's so far from the truth. That's so far from reality. So I had no idea about how to launch a product. I just created something that worked for me. And I thought, and I did a lot of research, and there was nothing like it in the world. And so I had a friend who has a lot of patents in the oil field, and I took it to him, and he said, have you told anybody about this? And I said, no, I just created it for myself, and it worked. So I was filing a provisional utility patent the following week. Everything just happened so quickly. But getting a product to market, you have to do your research. You have to make sure it works. You have to do the testing. But then you don't just create a website. You have to get out there. I went to High Point for the first time last year, not knowing anybody. I hopped on a flight and I took my little prototype And I walked into these showrooms and I showed them what had created. Of course, I have my provisional utility patent already and my trademark, so I was covered. That's
Smart.
very important. Um, but it's really about getting out there. I knew I could not build a product or a brand sitting behind a computer or behind a website.
Mm.
I had to get eyeballs, I had to get cheerleaders, I had to get people on board with it. And that is what I've worked so hard the past year to do. I've created relationships with rug manufacturers because the rug industry, they know this is a problem. I mean, they know, but there's never been a solution to it until now. So,
I love this. I love that you truly, like, you do what everyone in marketing says. Find a problem and then
mhm,
provide a solution. And that's
right.
exactly what you've done, like in the clearest terms. You're not just, selling another pretty rug or selling another lamp. Like, you've actually come up with something, which I think is so interesting. And I love that you shared that here, that you got the patent first, because I guess what could have happened is you could go to High Point and be like, oh my God, look at this. And then you
Absolutely.
show Surya and they're like,
Absolutely.
cool idea. We're going to do that.
Absolutely. No, 100%. That was the most important thing. And that's why I went to somebody who already had experience in product development and had patents. And thankfully, he was a mentor for me and was able to guide me in the right direction and not tell anybody until that was filed.
And you're still sewing them in your house. Oh my goodness. I think this is amazing. Now, do you sell these products direct? Could designers who are listening who love this idea, can they order from you directly, or do they have to go through another supplier?
No, so they can contact me directly. Actually, I'm working with quite a few designers, a lot of Airbnb designers, and they will contact me, tell me what they need. Then we source that rug. They ship it to me, and we wug it out for them, and then we ship it directly to them. It's been a game changer for designers because if you've ever battled an outdoor rug in the wind with crazy crosswinds, I get pictures all of the time from designers. Can you help me with this? Because their clients calling them, why is it moving? Or the adhesive tape, it got wet and now the adhesive isn't working and it ruined their floors. I'm like, and they know I have the solution for it. So I help designers all of the time. And we have trade
Mm.
pricing. We can source. So whenever I went to High Point last year for the first time, I went to all the rug manufacturers, the biggest rug players, and I was granted permission to source their rugs. And then I wug them out with my weighted system, and then I sell them as a wug because I didn't have access to a loom. I didn't have access to create my own rugs. And so I
Mm.
knew that was the only way that I was going to be able to launch this product was to
That's
source their
clever.
rug. Hmm.
That's so clever. You're actually also eliminating a lot of the legwork on your end, having to go fly to another part of the world to source
Absolutely.
these looms, to find out who are manufacturing these broad looms or these area rugs or whatever it might
Absolutely.
be, and try to run
Mhm.
your own line, which would be your own prints and your own designs. And maybe that's in the future, but I think this
Right.
is a really neat idea that you can retrofit essentially
Mhm.
rugs
Oh,
with
yes.
your patented design.
Exactly. Yes, we call it wugging them out, and we can add our weighted system um, to them. And I mean, I 12 by 12s, 9 by 12s, down to little 2 by 3s. I do all sizes. I have a sewing machine in my front living room, and that has turned into our manufacturing warehouse.
Have
My
you
mom,
always been a sewer?
no, so that's a great question. No, so my mom has always been a sewer, and she used to try and teach me, and I had no interest in it. Like as a child, I was like, I'm not ever gonna sew. And it's kind of funny whenever I launched the product, and I had this crazy idea. She was one of the first calls I made, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an idea, mom, and I'm like, you're gonna have to help me sew. So my mom sews all of our willow cases for us, so she's very much a part of this journey as we are. So
Okay, can we talk about what is a willow case? Sorry, I
so
missed that.
no,
I love the name. Tell me more.
a willow weighted. Okay, it's a weighted outdoor pillow. So I was tired of pillows, fishing them out of my pool because a good little breeze would come through, or losing them to the neighbor's yard. And so I created a willow, a weighted outdoor pillow that has a patent pending weighted insert inside of it. And you can change out the willow cases. They have a zipper on the bottom, and you can change them out from season to season. So instead of instead of storing like your happy fall y'all pillows or, your Christmas pillows, now you don't have a closet full of pillows. You just change out your cases.
So the pillow, it's the insert, like the pillow insert itself is weighted.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Now,
Thank
I would
you.
imagine there are certain markets that have a higher need for this based on weather, right? There's probably
Absolutely.
some parts of North America that are much windier. I'm
Right.
thinking like Chicago, isn't that the windy city? Like there's probably some
Yes.
places,
hmm
or I mean, even within my own province where I am, there's certain areas that are known for their winds. So I can see there being like hot spots probably across the US where you are really going to just make a huge name for yourself.
Oh, thank you. And absolutely. So, I mean, on the Gulf Coast, the winds coming off the coast are crazy, but not just by the water, also in the mountain ranges. I ship a lot to
Mhm.
Vegas, Ohio, Pennsylvania. I'm shipping all over the country. Wind is a huge problem, but also anywhere where it rains, because every time a rug fiber gets wet, it shrinks up. As it dries out, it releases, and that's what causes your rug edges to curl and they become wavy. So having that weighted system on the bottom just keeps your rug fibers tight and stretched, and it extends the quality of life of your rug.
I love this.
Mhm.
So, what would you say are the big differences that you've experienced as a business owner for those designers who are thinking about, maybe getting into product
Mhm.
sales or developing a product like you have? What are the big differences from a business perspective? I mean, there's so many areas we could talk about. I'm just trying to narrow it down in my head. From running a service-based interior design business to running a
Mhm.
product line, like what are some of the areas that have stood out to you that are quite different?
Well, really, they're quite the same in a sense. Of course, knowing your state laws on product taxes, that was all something new that I had to learn because I didn't know that in certain states products weren't taxed. And you need to know that, sort of thing. But really, it seems like a service-based business because I am the face of it, and I'm still out. I'm, answering emails. I'm talking to customers. When I go to market, it's all customer service based. So we put out a good product, but you also have to have a brand and a person behind it that is offering that customer service. And so we've been complimented on that a lot as a small business. I have direct contact with the consumers, and so I've created relationships with them and I get repeat customers from them. But as far as a product based business, just knowing online, creating your website, and you create
Mhm.
a service website as well for your interior design business, but a product is a little different. Keeping up with inventory, um, there's quite a bit to it. QR or
Yeah.
SKU codes, there's a lot to it. And really I'm still learning as well. Um, it has been a learning, game for me since we launched this, and a lot of research. A lot of research.
So with the WUGS and the Willows, are you primarily B2C, like business to consumer, or are you more a B2B? Are you looking to be more to the trade, or are you doing both?
Right now, we're doing both. So I do have wholesale prices and trade prices for our designers. But then I also do a lot of DTC, direct to consumer. I get out to markets. We have one actually this weekend out in Rockport, and it's on the water. And our Rockport people, they love us, and our because there's a lot of RVers, winter Texans. These are perfect for RVs. So, but I would like to get more into distributing to businesses, get into stores, but we're in the process of working on that right now. So,
Totally. I can see this going really big. I think it's such a brilliant idea, and
yeah.
good for you for noticing it and actually taking that plunge, right? Because a lot of us have great ideas, but not everybody actually executes. So, what was it about this idea that you were like, "No, no, no, I'm going to turn this into a business." You could have just done it for your clients and maybe a few friends. Like, what
Right.
was it that really inspired you to go after this like whole hog?
And that's a great question because I ask myself that all the time, and I'm like, maybe I'm just a little crazy. I told my girlfriend the other day, I'm like, am I crazy? I have just put everything, my design business on the back burner, everything. Like I hardly see my friends anymore because this takes up my whole life right now and my family's life. Um, it was just I knew something. It was a solution to a problem, and I knew everybody needed it. If it works, why not try and get out there? And I've always been in marketing. I love to sell. I love to meet new people. And why not sell my own product? Because I can do it better than anybody else can, right? So if you believe in something and you're passionate about something, go for it. I always say we get one shot at this, and like, what are you going to do with that? This was handed to me. I created it. I What are you going to do with it? And so I'm just, I guess, a little bit crazy.
I love it. I love it. So you are managing both businesses and the rest of your life.
Right.
And are
Right.
you, what is in the future for you? Do you see yourself returning to interior design, or is the Wugs and Willows really more the passion and the future?
Mhm. So right now the design business is on the back burner. I'm fully focused on Wugs and Willows. I see me trying to grow this brand. I want it to be a household name. When you think of a weighted rug, you think of a Wug. You think of a weighted outdoor pillow, you think of a Willow. That's my goal. And I feel like the only way I can do that is to just keep plugging the brand, get out there. Don't be afraid to travel and get out of your comfort zone, and do podcasts like these and just keep spreading the word. I would love to be in stores. I would love to not have to sew the Wugs myself. That's our biggest goal, is to partner with a manufacturer so that I can focus on the things that are most important, growing the business, and not have to focus on manufacturing and sewing every day, 8 hours a day.
My goodness. I actually really like that you're sharing that, because I think as designers too, when we start our business, we start our interior design firms or decorating or staging or what have you, we try to do everything in the beginning. We're wearing all the hats because we have to, right? Like you're sewing, but it doesn't sound like that's your passion, right? And you recognized where your talents lie. And I think this is a great reminder for the designers who are listening today to
Right.
really think about, where are your specific talents? Like you mentioned, Whit, that you love sales. Some people listening today are like, oh, cringing. Oh God, I wish I could have someone else do sales for me, right? Like we're all so different. But I
Mm-hmm.
think this is where this is where you really weed out the serious business owners from the hobbyists. If you're
Right.
serious about a business, you need to pay attention to where your strengths lie and find ways. Now, not necessarily at the very beginning, of course, you need to get to a certain point where you have the revenue to support the growth and
Right.
hiring or the partnering, but
Right.
it's recognizing which areas am I going to offload? Because I know a lot of designers who do this for 20 years and they're still trying to do all the invoicing. They're still trying to do all the site measures. They're still trying to do all the ordering. They're still trying to do all the clients, the sales, you name it, everything that's involved.
Right.
And they feel really drained and exhausted. And so if you're going to let it flourish, it's recognizing that. So I love that you shared that, because your strengths, you're very clearly you have a great sense of self and you know what you're good at.
Mhm.
Not that you're not good at sewing, you're doing a great
Right.
job, but it doesn't
Right.
sound like it's the number one passion for you. Yeah.
Right. No, exactly. My hands hurt. My body hurts. I mean, sewing is it's a skill. It's a lot of work, and we're pulling the rugs through there, and but I'm also about quality. So I want to make sure that everything is perfect, but you're absolutely right. Knowing your strengths, and I know that if I find somebody to help me manufacture and to sew, then I can focus on growing the business more, and getting my face out there, because I really have to have good time management right now.
How much would you say social media is playing a role in the growth of this product business?
Oh, tremendously, tremendously. And it's been tough though. I mean, Instagram is tough. I'm making all my content. I film all of my content. I get, videos and pictures from customers. But I do all of my voiceovers. I make all of my reels. I edit everything. I think if I finally find a manufacturer, I would still keep my content creation, because that's something I love doing. But it's easier nowadays, I feel like, to get a product out there just because of social media, but you have to
Mm.
be consistent with it. And you have to put yourself out there. And not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to want to listen to you, but you just have to keep posting and keep posting and keep going. And even if one reel gets 5 views and like 0 likes, but the next reel might be different, so.
Totally. Or one could go viral and you're like, yes, I'm taking off. And then the next one's not so much. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, totally.
Exactly.
I always ask the question about social media because I'm fascinated to see what different businesses' experiences are. I think for a service-based business, and I talk about this a lot on the podcast, and maybe this was your experience with your design business, but running an interior design firm tends to be very hyper local until you're at a point where maybe you're designing globally, but really it is a local service-based business. And so oftentimes I find the marketing that actually works the best is not the online marketing. It's not the social media. I think it's important to have. Whereas on the flip side, I definitely can see how social media and your internet presence really matters when it's a product.
Absolutely. So my best friend and I, we owned a design firm down here in Corpus, and we had a lot of local business. Ours was more word of mouth, but we would post a lot of reels and a lot of pictures, and so we would get business from that as well. But as far as the product, that was more local. But for the product, I am shipping to Ohio, Pennsylvania. They're finding me on social media, and people are sharing it out of our local community. So that's what's helping the brand grow for sure.
Yeah, I like that. So it's like if you want to grow beyond your local region,
Right.
the online obviously helps.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited to meet you at High Point. By the time this airs, I'm not sure if High Point will have happened yet or not, to be completely honest with you. So if you guys are listening to this and it isn't High Point yet, you got to come find us this fall. What before we sort of wrap up today, what are some last words of wisdom or last nugget of wisdom that you can share with our designers listening?
I think I've said this, we get one shot at this. And if there is something that you're passionate about, go for it. What do you have to lose? Go for it. Try it. Do your research, find your community. And that is very, very important. Finding your cheerleaders, people to share it. And if it's a product, let people use it. Try it. Ask for reviews. Don't be afraid to ask something. Don't be afraid. Get out of your comfort zone and go talk to people. And it doesn't matter if it's the CEO or of a company, down to, the lower level, or even an Uber driver. I got 10 followers from my Uber driver because she had in High Point. Yes, in High Point. She was going to school in High Point at the college there, and she had a Airbnb in 30A in Florida. I had no idea. I just handed her a business card and we started talking. I got 10 followers from her. And see, you never know who you're talking to. So don't be afraid to talk to everybody.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is such great advice. I love that, guys. So talk to your Uber driver.
That's
lessons.
Right. That's right. You never know. You just never know.
It's so true. And we talk about that too, even if you don't have a business yet, but you have a goal or you have a dream. When you're ready and you're comfortable and confident, like share it, start talking to people, because you just never know who the universe is going to put in front of you that could actually help you get that dream job, get you that new career, or launch a product line. I love this, Whitney.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to follow your journey. I'm looking forward to meeting you at High Point Market. I'll definitely seek you out. It's going to be an exciting year ahead for you, I think.
I hope so. I'm just putting that energy out into the world. So we'll see what happens. Excited.
Now, before we go, where can everyone find and follow you?
So we are on Instagram and Facebook at WUGS Weighted Rugs. And then our website is wugsweightedrugs.com.
Awesome. We will include that in the show notes as well.
Awesome.
Well, thank you very, very much. And I'm wishing you the most incredible success. I cannot wait to check out your products myself.
Thank you so much.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode with Whitney. For me, more than anything, what it shows me is there is never, we never run out of great ideas. Like there's still more in this world to be invented. Just when you think there's nothing left to invent, she comes up with WUGS and Willows. Also the branding and the name. So freaking good. I don't even know. We didn't talk about that. Shoot. When I see you at High Point, I'm going to be asking you, how did you come up with that name? It's so good. Love her story. Love this product. Cannot wait to see it in person for myself when I'm at High Point. Guys, go give Whit a follow. And if you are at High Point this weekend, come find us, say hello, let Whitney and myself know that you learned about her product on the podcast, and let me know in Instagram. Hop on over there, send me a DM. Did you like this episode? Do you have an idea for a product that you've maybe been hesitant to really dive into and explore, but maybe this episode just gave you the kick in the butt to do it? Let me know. As always, I hope you guys are doing really, really well, and I will see you soon.